What's up, disc golfers? This is Matt Dollar, and I'm here today with the final installment of the Return of the Beast. And this is the final 9, and it's the back 9 at the Rowton Disc Golf Course. So we'll start off today on hole number 10. It is a par 4. It is downhill, plays just over 700 feet. You really just want to land in the middle, anywhere in the middle, off the tee, so that you set yourself up for some kind of second shot. There is OB deep right behind the basket. So John Matlack will lead us off today. He's sitting at 14 under par. He just birdied hole number 9. In fact, everyone on the card just birdied hole 9 except for Josh Childs, our leader.
I got twizzled by the little guy.
Apparently Matlack got twizzled by the little guy. Here's Nick Rowton, playing for Team Black Zombie. Nick lives in Gray, Georgia, which is just outside of Macon. Originally from Texas. And now we got Matlack Beaman out of Fayetteville, Tennessee. I think you really could say he's out of the Huntsville, Alabama area, but he lives just over there in Tennessee. And here's our leader, Josh Childs, at 25 under par. Josh has been playing great golf all weekend. He shot 4 under on the front 9. And he's got a little bit of a lead here, so if he can just get pars and maybe 1 or 2 birdies on the back 9, he is most definitely going to pull this one off. So Matlack finds himself just a little out of position on the right side. He has to throw kind of an ante going in. Hard to tell where he came up there. And Josh is just out of position on the left side, but that's not too bad because you've got a big hyzer right over the top, just like Josh did. Hear Matlack saying to get in. Seth actually hurt himself by throwing it too far off the tee. If you throw it as far as he does, then you gotta land in the fairway. If you see where Josh landed, see he kind of missed about as much to the left as Seth did off the tee, but it's a lot more of a landing zone in the Josh Childs distance / Matt Dollar distance compared to the Seth Beaman distance. Nice putt from Seth, just to get the par. Looks like Josh is going to be the only one to birdie hole number 10, and we'll move on to hole 11. And we're playing the short pin on hole 11. It's a par 3, but it's a long one, and you don't have to hit too tight of a gap off the tee. So it's really just about ripping. It's that second gap you kind of have to worry about. Josh is taking the left side here, and that's definitely the side I take as well. You got to throw something that just continues to turn, though. You almost never want it to come all the way out.
Okay.
Matlack is starting to turn, I believe. And it just keeps turning. Might have turned too much, though. I imagine he'll probably have a long look, probably around the 50 to 60 foot range. Nick takes the route that I always take.
I like that play a lot.
Go flex shot over the top of that tree. That way you make it where there's really no gap to hit on the entire hole.
You got to see the local
and Seth Beaman's got all the distance.
I'm back. Wow, that thing is nuts. Nice shot. I have a green. 30-something.
So he's just going to throw it way over the top. Give himself a nice little birdie look. Looks like Josh and Matlack must have been a little closer than I thought. Josh is dead on center with that judge. He just hits a little bit low. And Matlack will join the low club. Seth hits that right side, but he's not going to get the birdie. Nick is our last shot at a birdie on hole number 11. And he will putt it in there. I'm not sure what Nick was putting with this weekend, but I know now he's putting with that, I believe it's the War Spear. I know that Black Zombie Disc Golf has got some like War Spear stamped discs. And they apparently are really overstable putters, and he's loving that thing. Beautiful shot from Nick here on hole number 12. This is a tough hole. If you have a ton of distance, you can just throw a giant hyzer over the top of the trees. But it is not easy. I have to throw it kind of a flex shot, unless I have a really good wind, just to get over the top of those trees on the right side of the big tree. Also, if you do challenge that way, you have a chance to hit the telephone pole. Matlack throws the computer line. As long as it didn't stop on that sand while going downhill, he should be parked.
Barely got caught. I thought you...
Yeah, that's just Seth being at a disadvantage by not knowing the course, because he should definitely be throwing the big hyzer over the top. It would be a no problem shot for him. He tried to throw up the middle there. He'll have to settle for a par, but Nick's going to knock in a nice birdie. And Josh had a little more left on that putt than I thought on his upshot. Matlack was just as parked as we hoped, and we move on to hole 13. Pretty cool par 3, coming in right about 400 feet. You kind of have to throw it really straight and have a little late turn. You can see those trees on the left there. It is always windy here, so you may not feel it up on this ridge blocked by these two sets of trees on each side of you right now, but once you get out of that gap, it can be really windy out there. Nick, however, is the most local player here, and he is playing like it. He knows the lines, and he is executing them very well. He had a little hiccup on hole 1 to start the round, but ever since then he's been pretty solid. It's really easy to give yourself a long look on this hole, but if you throw it far enough and good enough to get all the way to the basket, you bring a lot of danger into play. You got this danger on the left that Seth almost went into, and then you got the danger deep, and then you've got basically a blockade of pine tree limbs on the right side of the basket, and Matlack's probably having to putt through those. We'll see him here on this side. By the way, you see Matlack's only about 30-something feet from the basket, but right behind him was that giant tree, and if you throw inside of that, it's almost impossible to get out in one shot.
Boom.
Josh Childs with a huge putt, and he had to go through those branches just like I was talking about. He's fired up about that one. Let's check the replay. Hit a little slow-mo. Does he hit a branch? Oh, maybe just a littlest of tickles. And great putt from Josh. He'll get a very nice birdie and pretty much secure the win here. Nick can try and keep it interesting by making another birdie. Unfortunately, it's going to throw a pretty good putt. It's not going to stick. So we're going to have to go ahead and accept that Josh has probably won this tournament. Oh no, John Matlack with a beautiful putt. It's a little hard, little high, but disc catchers usually soak them up. That Pro Rhino just popped right back out. Luckily, it just rolled about 5-6 feet. Matlack will take another bogey. That's back-to-back bogeys for him, and we'll move on to hole number 14. And it is the long position, which is still a par 3, but it's uphill. It's a tough, tough hole. It sits right on top of this little ridge, and there's a little, I don't know, bowl area on the left, I guess, that used to be a sand trap, and there's like a tree or two inside of it. It's just a really hard hole to birdie. Nick's going to go with the sidearm. I think that's the best play here. Unless you have some kind of insane distance like Seth Beaman does, and then you can just throw straight over the top with a little flex shot. Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. Great shot from Seth. Matlack knows you need something special to get to this hole. He's going to try to go roller, and it is not working. Not sure if that was the wind or just a weird landing, but he's going to be scrambling out of there, and that's probably going to be a bogey unless he can hit a really big putt. Josh lays up, but he's still left just a little bit of extra work on that par putt. Well, Matlack just tickles the chain. He's going to have to get a bogey here. Tough break for Matlack. Seth Beaman will grab the very rarely seen birdie on hole number 14. When it's in the short pin, I can reach it with a thumber. In the long pin, I can't reach it unless there's no wind.
What's going on, Rhino?
Matlack talking to his putter. Oh boy. We'll move on to hole 15, par 4. I believe we're in the A position here. So you hit that first gap with all those weird looking trees, turn left, try to land in this field, then you have an upshot. And The only danger on your second shot is the thick stuff on the left, thick stuff on the right, and an OB road about 40 feet deep.
Oh, get out of that. Yeah.
Thing about this hole is the righty hyzer shot goes right into this giant tree if you throw it far. So you kind of have to throw a little sawed off shot like these guys are doing. You can't really go for a big distance off the tee because there is a huge like tree fairway bunker that if you go inside of, you're not going to be able to get through in your next shot. You'll have to pitch out and then throw up. It's not that long of a par 4, so if you can just get in the middle of the fairway, it's pretty easy to give yourself a birdie. Matlack's going with a big skip shot. That is a good play. He's going to be the shortest, but he's definitely going to get himself in the middle there every time. You know, as long as the disc skips off sand every time. Oh, he's gone a little too much on his second shot. I believe he went with that T-bird there, and it's a little too much. Josh goes forehand. That was actually not a disc I'm familiar with. Nick's going to have to go tomahawk over the top. He is right behind that big tree fairway bunker I was talking about. Pretty good shot from Nick. Hard to tell how close he really got, but looks like he's inside 20 feet. Which is pretty amazing. If you go into that tree, you can't get out, but if you stop just in front of it, if you got an overhand as good as Nick's, you might be able to get out. Matlack's putting woes continue here, and he's going to have to settle for a par if he can make this one out of the trees. Stabs a good little putt in there with his Rhino, and Josh will be up next. Josh nails that birdie putt home. He actually putted with the harp on that one. Might have been a little wind out there. And we'll move on to hole 16, 365 feet, par 3. The way this drone is flying is actually the way you want to throw it. You want to throw it straight, have it turn a little to the right, and then kind of finish straight. The only problem is the front of this green is protected by a little, I don't know, elevated ridge, and then there's like 4 little mini trees on the ridge. Now those trees weren't there like 4 or 5 years ago when we like made the course officially open, but they've just kind of grown in. And I'm not sure if they should be there or not. I actually am not a fan. There's already like a lot of trees to the right and to the left of this basket, so I don't think you need those right in the middle if you were to throw the perfect shot. But that way that Seth Beaman just threw it is the way I always played this hole. Just try to throw the giant flag shot over the top.
Burn! Burn! Oh, he didn't get it. Oh, he got through. Give me a putt. Dude, I think it's stuck in the freaking tree. No, I made it past my. Oh, you saw it shimmy through there? There you go, kid. Knock it down.
There you go. You got a little Brad Hammock, 5-time Masters World Champ commentary there. The Masters League card must have been on a hole right beside this one. Brad won the Pro Masters division in this event. So now we got Seth Beaman over to the right side. He's probably only 40-something feet, but he's got a lot of trees to go through. Josh is also not going to be able to penetrate into the green to get a chance at the birdie.
Good concentration, buddy.
I believe Seth had to step that putt off a couple times because he had some distractions going on behind him. Somebody was pretty loud on one of the other cards. And good little putt from Matlack. So nobody's going to card the bird there on 16. We'll move to 17. This one's a little easier. Just dead straight. You basically want to throw kind of a straight to hyzer shot and just finish 20 feet left of the basket. That's the way to play it. You don't want to try and park it because then you really might go in the right side. Josh knows exactly how to play it. He might have left himself a little further left than you want, but if you throw the hyzer at that wood line that Nick's shot went towards and just let it hyzer right in front of it, you're going to be parked every time. Seth starts his off a little too far left also, but should give him a long birdie putt. Unless it finds one of those small groups of trees. Matlack's throwing the shot that I was talking about, but he just catches a branch that sticks out into the middle of the fairway. It's going to stick him with a tough lie. He's going to have to throw a sidearm to get out of there, and he's going to have to save a par again. Probably not going to be an easy putt. Little step putt from Seth, and yikes, he is putted into the rough on the beast. It's only about 10 feet from the basket on this one. Matlack will have to take the bogey here. Man, poor Josh, that one tree that's on this side of the basket is blocking him. That used to not be a thing back when I lived in Macon. Good putt from Seth to get out of the jail there and get away with his par. So it looks like nobody's going to card the birdie here on 17. A little disappointed in that. And we'll move on to hole number 18, the last hole of this event. 685 feet, par 4. You got to throw about 375 feet to a landing zone, and then you got another shot a little over 300 feet, 90 degrees to your right. Everything on the right side is just really thick and hard to get out of, so you really don't want to try and challenge that right side at all. And then there is out of bounds deep of the basket. Really tough hole. I've taken a 6 on this in a tournament at least once, maybe twice. If Nick's disc lands exactly where it should, or where it's supposed to without rolling to the left there, he should still have an overhand, either a thumber or a tomahawk, and Nick will throw both of them, so I would be very confident saying Nick's going to throw an overhand on his next shot. Seth Beaman throws a really high shot. I don't think he was trying to do anything super aggressive.
Come on, be a Macon.
Oh, yeah.
But he probably could have.
Ooh. What a dream, dude. Wow. How you like that?
That was a beautiful shot. You heard Josh say be a Mako, so that was Matlack's Mako. He flipped it perfectly. Put himself right in the middle of the gap. You can see it right there. Josh's second shot's going to come in a little too tight, and he's probably going to have to just lay up. Nick goes tomahawk. It looks a little bit right, but I bet he's on the green. And Seth's just going to try and throw over everything, because why not when you can throw that far? I don't know if we could really see where that landed, but it sounded like they liked it, so I bet it's close.
Oh, come on.
Matlack just dials up the Mako for a second shot. 2 perfect Mako shots, apparently, is the way Matlack does it.
There you go.
Josh throws a very nice sidearm to get out of there and give himself a look for par. And Nick misses his putt for birdie, but it will not affect him. Seth grabs the birdie, but he won't be able to catch Nick. Nick's going to get second place in this event. And Josh Childs will have a putt for par here from about 28 feet, I'd say. And it's not only for par, it is also for the win. He's going to win by several strokes, whether he makes it or not. But he continues his hot play and finishes it out with a very nice putt there with his heart. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank you so much for supporting our event. Thank you to Will Peterson for filming, and thank you to everyone for watching. We'll have more disc golf videos from more events coming up very soon on Matt Dollar Disc Golf.
Special thanks to the one and only Cody guys.
And there's a quick look at the ending results for the Return of the Beast B tier in Macon, Georgia. Thank you so much for watching all of the Return of the Beast videos, and please check back for more videos from Matt Dollar Disc Golf. Have a great day.